And
Okay.
let me share
Hit record.
my screen 2. I don't know if I have any sound today, but I'm just going to practice checking that. And let me get my panel going here again. There we go. Okay. All right. Did you say we were recording? Yes. Hello. Happy Friday, everyone. You made it through a full week after, depending on how many days you took last week. So I was wondering why this week felt long, and it was because it was actually longer than last week. So we are glad you're here. And today's First Friday focus is on looking at our priority inbox. So it's a setting. And so I'll demo that and you can give it a try if you would like. And then looking at labels for your inbox and then filtering emails that can just help with our workflow. This is being recorded, as you know, and we'll put it on the YouTube channel. And then I did just for my own purposes, but then I was going to share it. I did make a little document for today, just that helps me know what we talked about. So I'll share that with you too. And I think that's it. Before I start demoing anything, would love to hear from you all. Are you using priority inbox, or does your inbox kind of look like mine right now with just like everything listed, newest to oldest? Yes, and mine did until I think early November. This is what mine looked like. And then I learned about priority inbox and I thought, I don't know if I want to try this. But then after I did, I really liked it. So after we demo stuff, you are able to give it a try and try it for a day, try it for a week. And if you don't like it, you can go right back to default settings. You're not stuck here. So of course, any questions, please jump in, unmute yourself, or put it in the chat. And as always, you'll hear Corinne and I say this at every Fast Friday and every Lunch and Learn, that this is just one or two ways of doing something in Google. There are many, many ways. And you know stuff that we don't know. So please share what your experience is and your tips because we're all here to learn together. And then a reminder too of our structure, a demo for 15 minutes or so, asking questions, and then we pause, and then any other Google questions that you have that might be about what we talked about, but could be a different thing or a tip that you're using yourself or in your department. And so this is just a time to do some extra learning and sharing together. So here is what my inbox looks like right now. On the left-hand panel are the default labels. We'll be talking about labels today that Google has set up. And then underneath these default ones are some labels that I have set up. And so we're going to be talking about that. I also choose to have my right side panel open to my calendar, but you can hide that so that I have a bigger visual screen here of my email, or so there's the calendar tab there, or if you use Keep, or if you're using tasks, which there's some sessions coming up about those. So you can have this side panel open or totally hidden. For my own purposes, I like to have my calendar showing me what I am doing today, but I'm going to minimize it just for now. All right, so if you go up to the settings, lots of things happen up in these settings. The quick settings, and this might be a little review from November, but you can decide how much of your email in those different lines you want to see. So the default setting or the default density has each email this certain height, but the default is that height, but if you click on comfortable, it squishes them just a little bit. Or if you're really brave, I think, and you want to go compact, but that hurts my head. So that's too much. But feel free, play around with the density and see what works best for you. You can play with the theme. So the default theme is usually this white, but I have it set with these fun little colors. But play around with that. There's more too, so you can click and see some other themes. And if you manage multiple inboxes, maybe having a different color theme can help you remember which one you're in, if that helps too. But what we wanted to focus on today is this inbox type. So right now I have the default inbox type, and I did customize it so that I have this primary tab, I have social, which I don't have any social things, and things that Gmail or Google says, this looks like a promotion. So a marketing piece, a newsletter, something like that would be in my promotions. So I did get that. That is customized here where I did select those tabs to be enabled. But if you don't want that, you can unclick them and then you just have your main inbox with everything listed in that. So that was settings, and that's where I customized the default inbox type by clicking social and promotions. So that's one way you can organize it. But if you want to give priority inbox, notice there are these other ones that maybe if you just want, you still want it in this one view, but you want all of the important emails at the top, or you want to make sure all of your unread are right at the top. You can customize it, but give this priority inbox a try. So if you click priority inbox, Gmail is going to put your emails into 3 categories. So at the top are going to be your unread, and that's going to be your unread whether it's an email from 5 minutes ago or it's an unread email from last week. It's all going to be grouped at the top. And then the next section would be any emails that you have added a star to. So you can have the starred category. For me, I star things that I am not done with. So I want to follow up, or I'm still waiting for, or I don't like this is a workshop I'm involved in. I want to remember to go check that every day. And so you can star your emails, which starts training Gmail on to start noticing what are important emails that get labeled that. And right now, I have it set to only show me 5 starred at a time. I do have 12 emails that I've starred, but you can customize that. So if you click on those 3 dots, you can say, I want to show 5 items, 10, 25, 50. So you can decide how many you want to show at a time for your starred items. You can do that also for your unread. So for unread, I want to show at least up to 25. Hopefully, I don't leave that many there, but I might. But for my starred, I just want to show 5 at a time. And then when I want to see these other 12, I can click on those numbers and it's going to show me all of them. And then I just go back to my inbox. I can also minimize it if I don't need to see my starred all day long. So we have our unread, we have those important emails that you have starred to keep those grouped, and then everything else that's left in your inbox is below in order of newest to oldest. So this has been a little efficiency game changer for me. I did not think I was going to like priority inbox. I'm going to be honest with you. But after using it for a week, I was like, no, this is actually really helpful. It's helping me stay organized visually. I find it appealing. So that is what priority inbox looks like. And I did that by just going to settings. And then I went down to the inbox type and hit priority inbox. You can customize your priority inbox too. So if you click customize, that puts us into all of the settings, the advanced settings all across the top. We're in the inbox tab. And right now it's reminding me, Jody, you have it set up as priority inbox, but I could play with it and go back to default or just important first. And then it's telling me right now I have these 3 sections. So I have unread, I have starred, and I have everything else. But maybe you want a fourth section. So you could add a section. It could be important and unread. Okay.
She's frozen. Interesting.
Did she get I'm getting a message that my bandwidth is low, but I think Jody froze, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay. I can see everybody's moving except Jody.
Okay, except Jody. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just take over and then she'll probably, I bet she's dialing in on her phone in a panic right now. So oops, and we just lost her screen too. So why don't we, I'm going to stop the recording and wait for her to jump back in. But do you have any restep that? So I was in all settings and we were in the inbox. So change your inbox type, have those 3 sections. And if you wanted a fourth, so if I wanted to add a section, more options, and maybe I have a label for my emails from Corinne. Maybe I want to be able to see all of my emails from Corinne in my main inbox view. So now I have unread, starred, everything from Corinne, everything else. I could enable a reading pane if you want. I can show those markers, which is that little yellow important. Otherwise, I'm just going to save changes so you can see now instead of 3 sections, I'm going to have 4 sections. And then here is my all Corinne, and maybe I just want to show 5 of that. So now I have my unread, I have my starred, everything from Corinne in one place. You can minimize it because maybe you don't need to see that all the time. And then everything else is there. And so this helps me know, like, what am I working on with the unread? And it's nice to see that there's just 2. My starred, so I have 12 emails that I'm working projects following up on. I have my Corinne, which I have condensed right there. And then I feel like this is a nice number. Then and everything else is just 53, which seems nice instead of, like, if you saw my personal inbox, it's like 3,000, which I know I need to fix. But I have a lot more emails that I've archived by putting them in labels over here. So I haven't deleted all the emails that I've gotten since working here. Tomorrow is my 1-year anniversary, people. Anyway, side note, but I have all of these labels over here that help me organize and keep emails that I didn't want to delete, but that I didn't want in my main inbox because I don't need to see them right now. So let's talk about making labels. So here is an unread email that I have from Kahoot. And this is an email that I did not need my brain to say, oh, you have a new email. And then I got distracted because I don't need to see my Kahoot marketing emails every time they show up. So I can click on this email and go up here to this little folder icon with the arrow that says move to. And when I click on that, I can move it into one of those labels I've already created, but I don't have a label for Kahoot, kind of like Kahoot type emails. So I'm going to create a new label, and I'm going to call this Tech Tools. And if I had, if I wanted to, I could nest this under one of my other labels they already have, but that it doesn't really fit under any. So I'm going to say create. And now it's moved out of unread because I read it. And now it is over here in my tech tools. So there's that email from Kahoot, and I've moved it over to my tech tools. But what I was saying is I don't want that to show up in my inbox because that distracted me for no reason because that was not an important email. So what I can do is is uh, oop, tell Gmail that when emails from Kahoot come into my inbox, that I actually want to filter that email into my labeled folder. And so if you go to the three dots here, you can say filter messages like these. And so this is where you customize and tell Gmail like, hey, when an email comes in that I don't need to see right away, please move it to this other place. So I could put in and I could filter emails from certain people. So if I wanted emails, Corinne always pops up because guess what? We email each other the most, or I email her the most. I don't know if she emails me the most, but Corinne's my go-to. So I could say every time an email from Corinne comes in, it could go automatically into that Corinne folder. But I do want to see those emails immediately. So I'm going to keep those in my inbox. But I could say Kahoot if they had an email. Nope, I don't have a Kahoot email. So what I'm going to do here is say if an email comes in with the words Kahoot, then I want to create a filter for that. But it could be, you could create a filter from a specific email address or to, or has words in the subject, doesn't have. So there's lots of ways to play around with this. But when I click create filter, then I'm going to put in the criteria. So now when an email from Kahoot comes in, I want Gmail to skip my inbox and archive it. And I want to archive it in that new label I just made of tech tools. There's other filter criteria you could put in there. I could mark it as read already. I could make sure anything from Kahoot gets starred. You could forward it. You could have it be deleted. I could say, hey, this email keeps going on spam and I don't want it in spam. Always mark important. So you can play with these different customizations. And the last customization is going to say, hey, we notice that you have two other emails in your inbox that have Kahoot in it. Do you want us to apply it to that conversation as well? And if I say yes, it's going to take wherever those Kahoot emails are in my inbox, or maybe I have it saved in another label, and it's going to move it automatically for me into my new tech tool label that I just created. So I've looked at all the customizations. I have it set how I want it. And so when I hit create filter, now, oh, there's that other one that had Kahoot in it. Now, anytime I get an email, this is so weird that that just happened because that just came in. Anytime I get an email from Kahoot or that says Kahoot in it, it is going to go right. See, this one skipped my inbox because I haven't read it because it literally just came in. Thank you, tech gods up there, for this real life example. And it moved it, instead of going in my inbox, it went right into Kahoot. And so as I'm working, I will not be distracted from an email from Kahoot that I don't need to read right away. It is over here on my in my labels, in my list of labels, it's going to say, hey, Jody, look, you do have one unread. So that might be part of my workflow every day. I look over at my labels and say, do I have any unread that I need to click in and say, okay, yep, read that. Great. I don't need to keep that as unread. Or if I'm like, oh, I need to come back to this, then I can mark as unread. I could add a star, which would put it back in my starred. And so you can adjust those labels too, just if you're like, oh, I thought I had time to work on this and I don't, so I want to keep that bolded so I remember to come back to it. So let's take a look at that one more time. Go to see all settings. And here are all the labels that I have. And I can edit those. So book study, there's one conversation in book study. So actually, I don't know why I have this as a label anymore. I can edit that name or I can remove it. And what that will do is it's going to take that conversation, it's going to delete the, it's going to remove the label, it's going to put that one email that's in there, put it back in my inbox, and just delete that label. So I don't need that anymore. So you can watch and be like, I have a lot of labels going, that's too many. But you can also create from here too. So if you want to just create a new label, you can create from here. Create it. And now over here, I have my test label. You can, one other thing you can customize is if you want your labels, if you have certain labels that you want to find quickly when you're scrolling, you can color, have that label have a color, if that helps your visual. The other thing you can do is if there is not, if there are no unread emails in there, you can hide it so that your list is a little shorter. So as you're getting and playing with your labels, you can try some of those customization features and just see if that helps with your workflow. I can't remember because when my internet went out there for a moment. Did I ask, is anyone using labels to archive? Okay, great. Are there any label titles that you're using that you're like, oh, I hope that my other colleagues also are thinking about these labels? It's really helped me.
I have a question because I use labels, but I just drag it over and drop it into my inbox, and
Yes.
it doesn't seem like it archives it when that happens. So I'm not sure if this is a different kind of label or.
It won't archive automatically, but the label will stick with it when you physically archive it. So
oh yeah,
you can
go ahead.
always, even when they're not in your inbox, you can always, when you hit that label, whether they've been archived or inbox. So see how Jody has Canvas and Corinne on that top message under me?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So sometimes it will say the label, and then the inbox is essentially another label. So when it's in the inbox, you would see both. Not in your inbox necessarily, but when you look it up anywhere else.
And so what you were saying too was, so if you, like I have this email, I like to, anyways, you don't need to know that, but this might be an email that I would move to the shared with me. Is that what you're doing, Laura, is you're moving it over this way?
No, I'm actually dragging the label over to the inbox, and it just pops the label onto the inbox.
Okay. And then
I don't archive anything.
Okay,
so I don't know how to archive.
Yay. Okay, so let's do that. So here's an email that does have a label with equity because I created a filter that said anything that says equity or anti-racism, put that label on it. But notice it's in my everything inbox, but I have an equity label over here. So I actually want this email to be over there, not here. So I can click on this and then that move to, and I click equity. And now we probably won't see it because it's going to be buried, but that email is now over here and it is no longer in my everything else. So you can label stuff and keep it in your main inbox. And so then you just have that, there's that visual reminder that this is a Canvas email, labeled Canvas and also labeled Corinne because it's from Corinne, but it's still in my inbox here. Or you can move it. and move it to one of those labels, and that's where it's getting archived. So it's kind of a
Yeah.
it's a twofer there.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jody.
it still filters it. When I click on the filter, it still filters and just shows me the ones that I've got that label on.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Jody, you could also just, it moves to your labeled, if you just close the word inbox. If you open a message that has a label on it,
Like this?
and it's in, yeah. And then you could just click, see where if you only want it in the Corinne folder, so just X out Canvas and it will go in that. And other ones that come in that might have a label will say inbox. So just X out inbox and it goes right into your labeled category.
Beautiful.
This
Thank you,
is
Laura.
this is fun. This is okay. So I don't know why they put move to on there, because so this is a confusing thing as we've moved from Outlook, right? They were physical folders in Outlook, like you were storing your mail in those folders. With Gmail, everything just has a label. There's no, you're not really moving that message. You're really, when you hit archive, and you've already applied a label, it will do exactly the same thing as that move to box. So do you want to, if you right click on a mess, and you're all making good points about, this is what Jody said at the beginning, there are 15 ways to do the same thing here.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can go do it from settings, you can do it from the message, you can do it from the side and pull it over and drop it. So if you archive here, I think Laura, you said you didn't know how to archive. So one of the options when you right click is to archive, and then you've also got archive in the message itself. So as you're in the message, you can hit archive within it, or you can trash it. It's all up at the top. So left to right, you
Oops,
go,
sorry.
it goes archive, spam, and then trash. Yeah. But Laura, if you don't archive if you don't archive anything, your inbox must have like thousands of messages.
2,200.
Holy buckets.
So you know when you get, well, I don't, maybe not, but if you ever get to that point of the day where you're like, okay, if I start a new project, or I just have 10 minutes, so you can give yourself a little permission to take 10 minutes in here and there and just start, and plus just start archiving or creating your labels. And that helps train Google as well, because Google is learning from our behaviors. And so that that can be something that helps Gmail start noticing, like, oh, this might be an email that is important, and it'll start adding that label for you. And then you can say, actually, that wasn't, please don't this time. But okay. Okay, that was priority inbox, a little bit of labels, and we did some filters. Okay, I think that was my checklist. There was one bonus thing that I wanted to share, and then we're going to open up for questions and other tips and tricks from you. But this came out a couple weeks ago, but there is some things that are new in Chrome that I thought might be fun to share. And this part I thought was so cool. So yes, I share Google Docs with people all the time, but this allows you to share and drop them right into the document where you actually want them to look. And so this is, I'll share this little link here with you, but it says try copy link to highlight. And so when you highlight the text you want to share, then you right click on it and then paste that link in your email or whatever. So I could say, what if I pull this one over? So if I wanted you to come right down to labels and filters, if I right click on it, and now, does it do it? Am I a liar? What? Nope, I am a liar. It's not doing it. Highlight the text, right click and select copy link to highlight. Oh, oop. All right. I should have practiced this before I tried to live demo it. It doesn't say copy link to highlight. Okay.
I wonder if we have to turn it on in the domain. I haven't tried this either, Jody. Like
Okay.
I just read through these and went,
Yeah,
well, these are
that
cool.
sounds great.
But I didn't,
Yes.
yeah. So let me check
Okay.
and make sure that if anyone else is trying this, let us know if it works for you.
Okay. This one does, I do think this one does work. So let's try this. So say you have 40 million tabs open, and I don't right now, but I usually do. But if you open up a tab and you're like, where is that one tab I was looking for? And you can start typing in, okay, I know I have a bunch of tabs open. I want to find the one that is a doc. You can search within the tabs that you have open, which I think is nice because really I usually have 20 tabs open at one time. And sometimes instead of just clicking, click, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? You just click that little drop down and you can search your tabs. It also shows you recently closed tabs. So that's fun too. And then the third thing, this did work. You can pick your new background and color for Chrome. And so I picked this one, and that was kind of fun instead of just having it be all white. And so this is, you open a new tab, and the bottom right, there's a little pencil here to edit. And then you could pick one of these really cool backgrounds if you like to have lots of color to brighten up your day. You might just want to keep it white, just the basic, meh. But those were some things that came out. 2 out of 3 are working currently. So we'll find out about copy link to highlight because I think that could be a fun one to have ready to go. All right, and then I want to give you this. And that's all I had for demoing. So we can stop the recording, I think, at this point, and then